feel like it takes a better picture than the other way.
Does it?
I don't know. Seems very... Here, come here, buddy. Hold on 1 second, Mommy.
What's up, guys? Project My Life, Anthony here. I
Cheech.
feel like I'm so far away from the camera. That's okay.
We are.
That's okay. We're good.
Cheech Benetti.
So today, special little thing here. I wanted to get Karen in on a podcast. Today, December 9th, 2010, we opened up Body officially
Woo!
to the public for the first time. I mean, I tried a business back when 2002, right before MTV. It's still in existence. I got a whiteboard. I gotta make sure I pay my taxes so they don't arrest me. But
Oh my God.
random. No, because it's an entrepreneurial podcast, and the fact that not everything you do is going to work. But I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always been kind of doing. My mom says I always march to my own drum beat.
You still do?
Yeah. Well, I think that there's you got to know your strengths. You got to know what you're not good at. You got to find people who could match you with your strengths and fill in the gaps. And that's exactly what you did in our business venture. What I'm not good at, you really are good at. It's ironic and worked out really well.
What I'm not good at, you're good at.
So it works. But 10 years ago today, we had a meet and greet over in the studio. We actually were in 194 West Main Street. And we had a meet and greet. We didn't know anybody in town. And we just wanted to walk around. Before we walked around, we handed cards out. I made little meet and greet cards. And just to try to bring people to our new place of business and let them know who we were and what we were going to do in town, and if we could help them out with their fitness and wellness journey, we'd love to. So that's what we did. So I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about the entrepreneurial kind of road to becoming an entrepreneur. You want to pop that?
I was waiting for when I can.
Go. Just trying to give a little context to what we're doing here.
Oh! Yeah, I know how to open a bottle of champagne.
I do. I was hoping you'd squirt it everywhere.
Really? Me? OCD with the dirtiness in here?
All right, go for it. Come on.
Wait, are we drinking from a champagne glass? Or?
That's fine. What do you want to do?
I think we're going ghetto.
It's the podcast. That's how we do it. But 10 years ago, it's a Monday, and it's perfect for Monday motivation. It's perfect for everything. What we've been talking about lately. So Karen, did you see that video clip I just put up on Insta?
I have been in sessions.
All right.
I have not gotten an opportunity to see anything.
Real quick, it's a little throwback. I put it up on Instagram today. It was all about, the original.
I thought we were going to be having champagne glasses.
We are. Well, we couldn't.
No, it's all right. Guys, don't judge.
I hope you're taping all this. You can put in your little film.
Better believe it!
Wait, you're not showing us the...
What's up, guys? Anthony here, Project My Life. It is today, 10 years ago, Karen and I opened up our business in Somerville, New Jersey, and it's been an amazing 10 years. Long story short, we're going to do a podcast tonight and talk more about it, but I just dug up a clip back in 2004 when I had big dreams of, doing big things after the MTV thing. My mom and my dad just coming from a different mindset, a different generation. They really didn't get, my kind of entrepreneurial lifestyle and my want to do different things. So here's a clip. I just want to give some context to it. I love my mom and my dad. I had a great childhood, and I can listen to this clip now because you're gonna listen to it and be like, holy shit, that's pretty rough. But my mom instilled discipline, and both my parents discipline, work ethic, and core values that I live with this day, which has helped me become the man I am today. And I just want to give some context because there's some vulgar language, and it's not a bad thing. I can look back at this clip and be appreciative of their mindset, but also now they love and they're so proud of what I've done and what Karen and I have built. But this video clip is viewer discretion is advised. It's all funny, but it brings me to a place where you can do, be, and have anything you want to do in life, but there's going to be certain people in your life who are just not going to ever, be in full agreement with that. And you have to mash your head through and just have almost blinders on as you're doing your thing, because I've always been a dreamer. And you'll hear this clip. My mom just, their philosophy wasn't quit your job and go on MTV, or quit your job and start a business. It just wasn't their mindset. So here's a fun little clip. Don't judge my mom by her language or her parenting, but that's it. Project My Life. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and practice patience. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything.
July 19th, 2004. I just called out of work maybe half an hour, 45 minutes ago. I'm gonna bring the camera upstairs to get a real unedited,
no joke,
unscripted reaction to my calling out of Lowe's
from your mother.
from my mother.
I was thinking that when we're watching this video, I'm going to dub in this video. It was a throwback of
What year was this?
2004. 2004.
No.
Throwback video, July 19, 2004. Karen, I had, back it up a little bit. I had moved out of my parents' house on my own. Karen and I first started dating, and I was living in my buddy's house. He was renovating. He just recently bought a house. He was renovating it. I was living at his house. Karen and I first started dating, so she was kind of basically living there with me. But then I wanted to move out and get my own place, so I moved out. Long story short, I had to move back to my parents' house. That's kind of the gist of this concept here, or what I'm talking about, the message. I had to move back to my parents' house, and
I went with.
Karen came with me with the Cheech.
No, we didn't have the Cheech yet.
We didn't have the Cheech yet. You're right.
Oh, Cheechy, you weren't in the picture yet.
This is pre-Cheech, but we lived in my parents' house, and I was working for Lowe's. You guys saw that on MTV, and I had called out of Lowe's because I had a scheduled date with my webmaster, and we were going to design a website. So I had called out of work, and it was, not the best reactions from my mom. She wasn't on board with it, but I will say that I was living under her roof, so I really she had a right to talk. She had a right to say what she had and voice her opinion. I wasn't paying rent, and I was, living in her house, so she was concerned that I was going to grow up to be a bum and not have anything, not amount to anything. So she was fearful of that. She also cared about me, and she wanted to. And that's how we communicate as Minettis.
Fucking car's broke for 3 weeks. Did you do anything to fix it? No. Just worry about going to fucking gym, building those big fucking muscles, working on that dumb fucking computer. Just keep it up. See how far that gets you. You're gonna be a fucking computer, brain dead person by the time you're 30. That's what you are.
That's an oxymoron.
You're brain dead. Yeah, well, whatever the fuck it is, that's what you are. Let me tell you something. You gotta snap out of the world you're living in. Whatever world, whatever fucking planet you live on, snap out of it. You're gonna be 27 years old. That's 3 years before you're 30. You don't even have a fucking direction in your life, except what you want, which is for a real world, not Anthony Minetti's planet.
You're in your own fucking world, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in your own world. You don't seem happy because you're always bitching.
Why do I bitch, Ian? Think about why I bitch.
Because you're an anxious fucking crazy
Yeah,
lunatic.
because you're a lazy fuck. That's why. You're not responsible. You're an irresponsible little prick. That's what you are. Okay? I said it. You pay your fucking car, that's a responsibility. But as far as being responsible, no.
I hope you're taping all this so you can put it in your little film. That's how she ended that. You talk about document, don't create, Gary V. I've been documenting my shit for years, brother. I'm going to get you on a podcast sooner or later. You have 5 minutes? Real quick, we're talking about all this stuff. Could you call my mom right now?
Hello?
Hi.
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 How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Not too much.
We're recording a podcast right now, and you're on it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And I just put a video up. Do you remember back in the day when we did you had a couple words for me when I called out of work?
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I told you, I mean, I put it out there before, but today I put it out. And I just wanted to give the viewers a little context and the listeners because...
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Well, Ma, here's the thing. I totally understand and I respect, you know, where you were coming from. You didn't want me to be a bum. You didn't want me to be a, you know,
Exactly.
right? But I also understand that you didn't really see the kind of entrepreneurial, you didn't see that as being an option for me because you were afraid basically that I would fail, I think, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you were afraid that I would mount to be I would be a bum trying to chase my dreams and live my life in kind of a smoke and mirrors kind of way, right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, today, actually December 9th, 2019, is actually 10 years since we opened up Body.
Wow.
Right? So we're doing this little podcast here, and I wanted to, you know, I'm grateful for you giving me, you know, kind of kicking ass, and and the things you did say, of course, they were out of anger and fear.
Tough love.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for that because the discipline and the kind of the work ethic that you guys instilled in me, even though I had a different
I
mentality.
could have curved my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, but that was your way of communicating. That was the way we all know that's how we communicate with each other, right? I mean, and it's
Yeah.
not always a good thing. It's not always positive, but that's your expression. That's how you do it. It's not a bad thing. I think it came from a place of love, right?
Oh, definitely. Always.
But tell me now, after 10 years, what are you thinking about when you think about, you know, the business that Karen and I opened?
I am so proud. So proud of both of you.
Appreciate that.
And you for following your dreams because you used to say that when you were little. Follow your dreams, and you did. And we're so proud of you. We couldn't be any prouder.
And I appreciate that. But did you think that we would have been successful back then?
Yes, I did.
You
yes,
did?
I did.
So why were you calling me a lazy fuck?
Well, that was before you opened Body.
Not a lazy fuck. I'm sorry. You called me a lazy prick.
Oh, you gotta remind me?
Well, it's on the internet. You can go ahead and Google it.
Oh, thank you.
Now that you're on.
I'm happy about that old shit now.
Now that you're on Facebook, I'll tag you.
Okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. My message is just like you got to believe in yourself, and sometimes even the people that you love most may not agree with you. And I think
Yeah,
a lot of people kind of you had a different mindset, right? Like you came from a generation that was go to work 9 to 5, get a career that's
Yes, exactly.
Benefits, salary,
right? Stability, salary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So
Yeah.
what are you guys doing right now?
Watching TV.
Okay, that's good stuff. I appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know that, so we love you very, very much, Karen. And you both are good for each other. You're perfect for each other because you balance each other.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's true, you know, and I'm so proud of both of you, what you did, what you accomplished.
Thanks, Ma.
And I never dreamed, but when you opened the door to that first studio, I said to Daddy, oh, he's on his way. And I felt so good about it because I knew you were actually following your dream. That's what you wanted to do.
And what made you say that? Were you able to see that kind of me growing up, or?
You were always never satisfied with what you were doing. You were always playing with your toys and looking where you can go next. And you were just never satisfied with. There was always that's why that song Dance I dedicated it to you because you want more for your kids. And you know, I knew you wanted more and more and more until you got a good, satisfied feeling. And you did, thank God. God bless you.
I appreciate that. But back in the day, I was considered overactive. Right?
Yes, and you were tested for ADH, whatever they call it now.
Right, ADHD.
And you were negative. He just said, he's a very active little boy, and you just got to go along with him.
Good stuff. Well, I appreciate the support, and And I'm happy that you gave me that tough love, and it definitely, I had that in the back of my mind that I can't fail, even though I wanted to do something a little different. I knew that I had to ultimately be successful to make you guys proud and prove that you can do things a little differently. You know, obviously college dropping out, the whole
no
bit.
No matter what you did, we'd be proud of you forever. You know that.
I mean, if I was a bum on the couch, I'm not sure you'd be too proud of me, right?
I give you a kick in the ass once in a while.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely, and I open my big mouth, but you're still my son, and I love you to death.
I appreciate that. I love you guys too. That's awesome.
You know, we're always there for you guys. You know it.
No, I do know it, and that's, you know, it's good stuff. With it, I'm just trying to make a point about the entrepreneurship, and it's not for everybody. But it's also, there's a lot of people who may not be doing things because of other people's, you know, judgment, or even, you know, afraid of other people's judgment, and it distracts them from what they really truly want to be and what makes them happy.
That's right.
So yeah, all right. So as long as we're clear, I put that video out there without your approval, but I know that it's all for good purposes.
Listen, I could sue you for that.
I know you could. Wait, can you sue me for that?
I would never, but because I love you so much.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We're showing the transformation also. That, you know, that eventually, you know,
Yes.
if I would have listened to you, and if I would have stayed working at Lowe's or whatever job I was working at the time, I never would be able to kind of do my own thing and change other people's lives, because I'd be working in a factory, or I'd be doing something that I wasn't happy with.
Yes,
You know,
you're right.
and ultimately I'd be miserable.
That's right. That's right.
It's
But
good
you
stuff.
would never stay miserable long, because you would always search for that next step, and I'm going up, and I'm going up, and I'm going up, and where's the next step? And so you would never be satisfied unless you got to your pinnacle. And well, now I'm happy, now I'm satisfied, but you would have kept searching and searching and searching. So you would have never been laying on the couch. You would always be out there looking for the rainbow. And I think you found it.
I'm on the path. I'm still having.
Carried your pot of gold.
Whoa,
How
Mom.
about that? Oh my God.
Mom dropping gems. Good stuff. So,
I just dropped the mic.
I just dropped the mic, she says. All right, Ma, real quick. Any since you're on the phone, any words of wisdom? So some people may not have been blessed with the childhood that I had, and the support from you guys. Even though that didn't come across as support when I was going through it, I knew it was coming from a place of love. Any kind of words of wisdom you can share with the world about, you know, just whatever, anything that you can share with them about, you know, living their life?
Just follow your dreams, like you say all the time. That's the only thing you did. You followed your dreams. And there are always more options than obstacles.
Whoa.
Wow, that's a powerful
Scary,
statement.
isn't it?
That's very
Yeah.
scary. I like that one. Where'd you find that one?
I don't know. I thought it 2 weeks ago. I wrote it down because I must have went through my head, and I wrote it down, and I just looked at it now again.
I love that. There are more options than obstacles.
Yep.
That's very good. I like that. Good stuff.
Good.
All right. So I'll let you get back to your evening TV watching.
All right. Love you guys.
Love
immensely.
you.
I love you too. Tell Daddy we love him.
I will.
Is he around? He's want to jump on the phone? Or
Yeah,
no?
hold on.
All
Hold on.
right. Let's hear from Pops.
Say hello,
I didn't
one
expect to be doing this right now, but this is really cool that we're doing it. Hopefully he's in a good mood.
Hello.
Yo.
Hi.
What's up, guys?
How
What's
are
up?
you, Pops?
I'm all right. What are you gonna do?
Hey,
Yeah.
listen.
My legs don't want to move.
You want to go where?
These legs, I don't want to move.
All right. Well, listen. There's at least you can talk to us right now, right?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
All right. You're on a podcast right now. We're talking to about 3 million people right now are listening to this.
3 million people talking?
Yeah, they're listening to you right now.
Why?
Because we're on a podcast.
What's a podcast?
A podcast is basically a radio station that you can listen to different channels, and a radio station that has, you know, I have a podcast, which is basically a radio show that you can listen to, kind of, you know, episodes, and you can listen through on your phone, and it's like a modern day kind of, you know, TV or and radio.
So it's like everybody can hear us and know our business.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of how we've been talking about my whole life, right? It's, you know, you shaved my ass on national television. Do you remember that?
Yo, oh my goodness gracious, was that me?
That was you. That was you. So we just.
You look good there too, huh?
You do. You still look good. So we're talking about, this is 10 years ago today. Karen and I opened up Body, and we opened up our doors officially to the public. So
Wow.
I just found the clip of Mommy. You know, she wasn't really happy with me when I called out of work. So I you know that video of Mommy yelling and screaming at me?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, I put that on the internet, and the next one's gonna be of you trying to put the video camera up.
Lazy Susan.
Right.
Oh, honey, he put that thing of you up, and he's gonna put the thing of me up for trying to put that. He is a bitch. You are a bitch. And
No, man. You know what? It's here's the thing. It's all about the story. Excuse me. And the story is the fact that I came.
The story is the people are gonna think your mother and father are friggin' nuts.
You know what? I don't care what they fucking think.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
you guys are special, and I know you guys love me, and I know it came from a place of love, and I know that you were just trying to make sure I didn't end up to be a fucking bum on the streets.
But you know what that video really shows of you putting that Lazy Susan up? It shows the love and support that you had because you were willing to do anything to help your son out. That's the message I get with that one.
You're
What a
absolutely
bad
right.
for Obama just coming out of the shower.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that too. That too. No, but it was it was fun. So here's the thing that you worked in, you know what, you know, warehousing your whole life, supervising. You kind of had your own business for a while, right? But today's topic of the podcast is all about entrepreneurship, and it's about, like, you know, doing things that you love and creating a business around things that you're passionate about. But back in the day, there was no entrepreneurs, right? Like back when you were working, you know, when did you start working? What year?
What year did I start working?
Yeah.
1958.
No, you started working in 58?
1958.
Wow. Okay. So back then, what kind of jobs?
The year I graduated high school, I started working.
What
I mean, I always had a job, but I was working full-time then.
what kind of jobs were available then?
Oh, there were a lot of jobs out there because there was a lot of things to do then. I was working in a 7-Up bottling company, stacking soda. I was working on the line where the guys would fill the soda up, and they'd roll the cases down, and I was on the end of the line stacking the cases up to, like, I forget, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 cases on a pallet, and then I'd lock them. Then I'd jump to the other side because I had 2 sides of this roller, and that's what I did for about 3 years.
And that was it was a 9, like you got paid an hourly rate, right?
Oh yeah. It was. I used to make $75 a week.
Wow. Okay. But that was a good job back then, right? That was a good job?
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was decent money in the 50s. Yeah.
That's awesome. But like that was what you did back then. You found a factory job, and you found the job, and you stuck with it, right? There was no entrepreneurs, and there was no starting your own business,
no.
right?
If I could find a better job, I went to it. From there, I went to work with Pops in the factory, and that got to be a little, you know, bending over and throwing barrels around all day wasn't the best thing in the world. Then I started warehousing, which was a lot better, just driving a forklift. And that was most of my life, about 17 years, 18 years.
And then you got into management, right?
forklift, and then being a manager, and then being a warehouse manager.
But the thought you that was security for you, right? You didn't want to leave that and start something else, right?
No. I would never leave a job, never quit a job if I didn't have something to go to.
Right.
Especially after I got married. Don't forget, I got married, I was 21 years old.
Wow.
I had to pay bills and I had to pay rent. I gave Mommy the money to pay for electric, gas, telephone, and all that other jazz. It wasn't a lot. My rent was about $75, just what I was making a week. My rent was about $75 a month.
Well, you a couple of good things here. I'm glad we're talking about it. You said one of the things that you made sure that you were able to pay for your rent with 1 week's worth of work, right?
Oh yeah. You had to make a week's worth to pay for 1 month's rent, no matter where you went. And my father taught me that. He said, don't try to go to work for $40, $50 a week. If you owe 75, you got to make 75 at least, so you know, even if you don't work for a week, you're going to make the $75.
And that kept you in good. It kept you out of debt and kept you kind of paying your bills on time, right?
Oh yeah, there wasn't many bills that time. There was no credit cards. I mean, there was no debt then. You know, if you borrowed $100 here from somebody or $100 there, I borrowed money from my father, and other than that, but no, I didn't. You know, you didn't borrow. There was no credit lines or none of that jazz. No.
And I also remember you said that when credit cards first coming out, when they first started to come out and really become big. When I turned 18, I got a Macy's card, and you said to me, if you don't have the money to buy it, you shouldn't be putting it on it. You shouldn't be getting it. And I like that. It's a key takeaway. I think Karen and I have actually gotten caught up with that, a few times. With just, it's easy to put stuff on your credit card, but your mentality.
Oh yeah. I taught myself that if I couldn't afford buying it, if I really didn't have the money in the house or in my pocket, I wouldn't buy it.
That's awesome.
Smart.
Yeah, it's very smart. I think that credit and credit.
And I didn't get caught up with credit cards until we were old, and the money wasn't the best coming in, and it's just only the last maybe 5 years that I got caught up with credit cards.
Right. Well, I mean,
we're paying them off, and it's
they had
not
their
easy.
they had their place though. They had their place, but back then. That's why you're retired, and you have your houses paid for, and you have your cars paid for, and
Yeah. I don't see ya. I gave Mommy the money every week. I made sure she had enough money for what she needed. The rent, the food, the this, the that, you guys for clothes. And then I got a second job, for more money for her.
A hustle.
And then I needed money to go back and forth to work. I smoked. I had gas. So I always worked 2 jobs.
That's awesome. I appreciate those that hard work ethic that I bring to the table today, and I always think about you guys when it comes down to work and what you guys did to provide a life for us, and it really pushes me. But I feel like that I never would. The whole radio, the whole message today is all about entrepreneurship and about we're in business 10 years now. It's hard to believe that we've been doing it for 10 years, but
Sure.
We wouldn't have been able to do what we're doing today without having our own business. And I'm glad that we I'm glad we did it. And it was cool. It's cool to hear you talk about your journey too. That's awesome.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm very proud of you. Always was. And I'm proud of you that you remember what I told you.
But I appreciate you sharing your stuff. I love you very much. I thank you for your support.
Love you very much. I love you, honey.
I love you too, Pops.
I will. I'll reach out to you tomorrow.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Very proud of both of you.
Well, thank you, Pops.
Thank you.
And please retire me soon.
We're trying, buddy.
Dude, we're working on it.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
I love you both.
Love you.
Love
Be
you too.
careful and take care of each other.
All right, love you.
Bye, Pops.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Papa Dukes.
Boom.
Mama
That
Dukes.
was brilliant. Got my
Mama
mom and dad on the
Pops.
podcast.
Hello.